Montana had 4. And in the Super Bowl he lost, he threw for 505 yards. That loss was not on him. The guys had 3 Hall of Fame careers. The only other person who has had multiple Hall of Fame careers is Jerry Rice. And he's only had 2. He hasn't had 3. I say Rice and Brady are the 2 best players ever. So, alright. Alright, so so here we go again with some of the recent news here. Alright. So Brady and Gronk break receiver QB touchdown record. Brady and Gronk obviously I don't think Brady or Gronk needed this game. They're both Hall of Famers already. And I'm kind of glad Gronk got away from the Pats because he's different than them. I think not only was he tired because he was getting injured a lot, but he was tired of the Pats, their culture. For 3 people, okay, so the 3 people last night, because Brady and Gronk were 2 former Patriots. Here are the 3 people that I think should feel the most regret this morning. Hint, Mahomes is not one of them. The number three person with the most regret is Reed. Andy Reid should feel the most regret because of all those timeouts, and he went for it. He continued to go for it, like on 4th and 6, 4th and 9. Just take the points. We knew the outcome already. Just take the points. I mean, I know your season's basically on the line, but there was like 10 minutes left in the 4th quarter. Last year, you scored 21 points in the last 7 minutes. 21 points would make it 31-30. So you could have won that game. Without those timeouts and just going for it. Number 2 is John Lynch or Kyle Shanahan, whoever was the final decision. Because I've heard from multiple credible sources, Brady's first choice was the Niners. And why wouldn't it be? They made the Super Bowl last year. But they said no. Jimmy G is young. He just got to the Super Bowl. Let's go with it. And obviously number 1 is Belichick, because Brady made it clear he wanted to stay. Belichick said no, we're good. We can win with a lot of quarterbacks. It's a mistake, Bill. So my guy Aaron Rodgers was MVP. This is awesome. He deserves it. It really, he's like LeBron. He's the most valuable player every year. But it makes sense why they don't put it there. It's boring giving it to them every year. Just like it's boring watching Brady win every year. So I actually didn't learn that until 2 weeks ago. Because I was thinking about it, I was like, why does he have to win all the time? It's so friggin' annoying. But then I thought, hold on. This is why they don't give the MVP to Rodgers or LeBron. I am a little frustrated as a Packers fan. I'm very much empathetic towards Rodgers. I mean, alright, Jordy Nelson, good receiver. I'll give you that. Devontae Adams, great receiver. Those are the 2 weapons he's gotten his entire career. And the Packers, yes, they really built up their roster this year. They really did. I don't think it's anyone's fault that they lost to the Bucs. I think it's Brady's fault that they lost to the Bucs. Brady is the reason they lost. It's not them. I mean, it was they didn't make many. I mean, they couldn't do much more, honestly. So here's what I would do if I were the Packers. I would go after a slot receiver, just a slot one, because we have enough tall guys. We have 3 tall guys, 6'5" Lazard, 6'3" Scantling, 6'1" Adams. I heard they're going to target T.Y. Hilton, and I love that. T.Y. is on the older side of things, but he's good. He showed up in the early end of the year. And I'd pick up a solid edge rusher. I like the Joe Barry hire. I like the Joe Barry hire from the Rams. I like that hire for our defensive coordinator. Because our defense is a lot more talented than Mike Patine, or however you pronounce his name, let it off. We got the second best outside linebacker, Zadarius Smith. We have a solid linebacking core. We have a top 3 corner in the league in Jair Alexander. And we have 2 great safeties. Savage and Amos. I would get another corner, a second corner, an edge rusher, and a slot receiver, and we're set. That's a win. That's a Super Bowl waiting to happen. Alright, so, so Wentz is expected to be traded. I think a good place for him, now that Stafford's out of the picture, is the Colts. Because I think the Colts is a good place, the best place for him, actually. The Jets would only get rid of Darnold if it were Watson, so he can't go to the Jets. Nor would I think that's a good place either. I think that just is a bad place for him. And the Jets, if I were the Jets, I'd only get rid of Darnold if we're getting Watson. He should go to the Colts. I do like Hurts. I like Hurts. I think I don't think he's a franchise guy, but I think you can develop him, definitely. And Wentz has talent. He's definitely talented. We can't say he's not talented. I'd give up a second rounder and a key player. A key player and a second rounder for Wentz. And honestly, the Colts is probably the best team for him because in 2017, when he was an MVP, Frank Reich was the offensive coordinator. That's a great team for him right there. Alright. So we got a couple more topics here. They should take a while. I'm going to be grading the Super Bowl performance on everyone. I'm not going to be grading the halftime show because I really didn't pay attention to that. So it's just going to be, did not watch. So we got, I'm going to talk about how I did on the awards predictions. I'll talk about, I'm going to have some Deshaun Watson talk. I'm going to elaborate on the 3 people with the most regret again. But here's the current topic. How much credit does Bruce Arians get for the Super Bowl this year? I give him a lot of credit. I give him plenty. So here's what he's done with the Bucs. So the Bucs were 5-11 2 straight years. They went 5-11. They were going nowhere. Last year they went 7-9, pretty good improvement, and this year 11-5 and Super Bowl champions. I thought going 7-9 last year was pretty good because Winston threw 30 picks. I think it's impressive that they were able to go 7-9 last year. So I would give him 45% of the credit for the Super Bowl this year, and I'd give Brady 55% because I think Brady was 55% of the work, Arians 45%. And obviously, yesterday, Todd Bowles gets a lot of credit too. So I'm gonna elaborate on this whole 3 people with the most regret. So Andy Reid, if you don't call those timeouts, the Bucs have a lot less time to score, and they probably don't score. It's probably 14-6. You get the ball at halftime, start running the ball. You can score, and don't go for 2 yet. Make it 14-13. And what are the Patriots? Bucs. Sorry, I think Brady. I think Patriots. So what did the Bucs do on their next possession? All right, so they scored. Okay, so it would be 21-13, and then the Chiefs' next possession, you run it, you could get a field goal there. I'd say 21-16 there. Then the Bucs get a field goal. It's 24-16 now. And then they take it down to the Bucs 12. And I really think he hit. Okay, this is another throw I was going to talk about. 4th and 9, he hit Darrell Williams right in the face mask. You got to catch that. But I don't think there was anything better they could have done there. I think it was just drop passes. Just not lucky there. So 24-16. And then the Bucks punted, actually. They punted the next drive. So, right now it's 24-16. Again, next drive. Tampa Bay 27. He hits Hill right in the helmet. Right in the helmet. Nothing better you can do there. 24-16. But still, it's a one-score game, so there's time here. Bucks punt again. Kansas City, if you finally got the hint and ran it, I think they score here. They go for 2, they get it, 20, because I think they're feeling pumped now. 24-24. And then the Bucks get it. I think they can hold them to a field goal there, and then Mahomes tries a magic drive. Maybe he gets it, I don't know. But they could have been in overtime or won, I think, if they started running the ball. So Andy Reid should be filled with regret right now for some of the moves he made. Especially with that timeouts. And the going for it. Honestly, if they don't go for it, and if they just take the points, 24-22, much easier to come back from. Number 2, John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan. When you look at the Bucks and Niners, the Bucks are very similar to the Niners, and Brady took them to the Super Bowl and won. If Jimmy G was an over-the-top throw away from winning the Super Bowl last year, Tom Brady would win the Super Bowl with the Bucks. I mean the Niners. This year. With that stellar defense. Obviously there were injuries. It would have been tough, but he may have been they definitely should have went with him. Because Brady wouldn't have gotten injured. Because he didn't get injured this year. He wouldn't have gotten injured. Garoppolo did. Garoppolo is a lot more delicate than Brady. I mean, Brady's hardly been hurt his entire career. So, Lynch and Shanahan, even though I have no doubt in my mind that they can get to the Super Bowl next year, they should be filled with regret. They could have done a lot better this year, and gotten their Super Bowl that they wanted last year if they kept Brady. They could have. I don't know if it would have happened because there were a lot of injuries, and I don't know if Brady would have been able to carry that load to the Super Bowl. Because the Bucks were pretty clean all year with injuries and COVID, you know? So I don't know how Brady would have fared with that injury-riddled team, but I think it would have been a lot better with Brady instead of Mullins. So, I'd say Shanahan or Lynch, whoever was the final decision to keep Garoppolo, should be filled with regret right now. Number 1 is Bill. Buddy, Brady said, I would like to come back. Here, I think, what was it that happened? Okay. And I know people say, they say this, Brady, I think he moved or something, during the season. That's because he went to the Pats at the beginning of the year and said, you can give me a contract extension, and I'm ready to stay here. And they said, I'd rather not. I'd rather not. I'm just gonna begin with lots of quarterbacks. We got a system here. You're 43, 42 at the time. You know, so we're just gonna, we don't need to waste some money on 42-year-old. I doubt they said it that harshly, but they basically said, no, we're not gonna give you a contract extension. And, you know, so Belichick has to be filled with regret there. You let Brady walk, and it cost you. You might do well next year, but you're not going to win the Super Bowl. You got the Packers to compete with, the resurgent Niners. You got the Chiefs that still exists, yeah. You got the Bills, they're just gonna get better. Who else is dangerous in that? The Ravens are a dangerous team. I don't think the Ravens are a dangerous team that you have to deal with. You know, Browns, they're just gonna get better. With Stefanski running the show there. I mean, they got a lot to deal with there. Should have thought of that before letting the GOAT walk. Alright, so we got some recent news.